Hello, it's Norman Burgundy with a quick tutorial on how to overclock your graphics card. Quick disclaimer at the beginning here, if you're going to be overclocking your graphics card, you have to accept that there's going to be some sort of risk. So should your tech get damaged, it's your responsibility. I mean, I'm not going to take responsibility for that. You got to be careful when you're doing this stuff. So some requirements that you're going to need a dedicated graphics card, meaning that there's an actual graphics card in your desktop or laptop. I'm working with my laptop here. I've got a dedicated card in it. You'll know if it's integrated, if it says like Intel HD 9800 or something like that. That means that it's an integrated card and it's not going to work. So you're going to need either a new laptop or a desktop with an integrated card, dedicated card. I'm getting confused with all the lingo here. So you're going to need a dedicated card, and then you're going to need some software. So the software that I use is MSI Afterburner, Tech PowerUp GPU-Z, and Heaven Benchmark. So I'll go through what each of these does. So MSI Afterburner is where you'll actually adjust the clock speed. Tech PowerUp GPU-Z actually gives you real-time up-to-date information on your graphics card. So you can see my default clock speed is 606. Whenever I change it, this value here will change the GPU clock, the memory clock, and the shader clock. And on this model of graphics card, the default clock and the shader clock are connected. So when I adjust this, you'll see that the shader clock is going up. So generally, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go into MSI Afterburner, and you're going to want to adjust it by 10 or 20 at a time. At the beginning I would suggest doing, I guess, 20 in case you want to take bigger steps, and then sort of go to 10 if you start running into problems. So I'm going to go to 626, press enter, click on apply, and in a second here you can see that the GPU clock has changed here to 626. So once you've done that, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to open your Heaven Benchmark software. You're going to want to run it. So I'm just going to take a second here to talk about something else while this loads, and sort of the rest of the process. So I'm going to open up MSI Afterburner again. So generally, whenever you get to a certain point, either your driver is going to crash, which is what happens on this laptop, or you're going to see artifacts, which means that you'll see some black textures. Things aren't working properly. I'm just going to mute Heaven here. So you're going to see some black textures, or your drivers will crash, and you'll sort of have an idea on how things are going to go. You can see my GPU usage has gone way up now that this is running. And then so as you go up, you're going to eventually get some black textures, or your driver's going to crash, or something of the like. And then at that point you're going to want to stop and sort of scale it back a bit. And then once you sort of get your core clock up to that point, you're going to do the same for the memory clock. Now some people say do the memory clock, don't do it. I mean, see the results for yourself and judge for yourself. Again, be careful when you're doing this. You don't want to go too overboard. And then, so again, if you get to the point where you're seeing artifacts and you happen to be on a graphics card that allows you to adjust the voltage, you can go into the settings here and you can click on Unlock Voltage Control. This card, because it's on my laptop, doesn't allow me to. But you would adjust your voltage and then also adjust your fan speed to keep the temperatures down, which you should be able to see under the sensors in Tech PowerUp GPU-Z. Again, I can't see it because this is a laptop card. The other thing you're going to want to do is, while you're in Heaven, you're going to actually want to run a benchmark. So once you've adjusted your clocks by like 20 megahertz per second, you're going to want to press F9, which will take you into the benchmark. Now I would press that, but it's going to stop my recording. So you're going to run that, and then you'll see how things go. You'll see your frames per second. You'll see at the end you'll see a total overall score of how you did. Now depending on how fast your computer is, it might take anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes to run the benchmark. It was happening to me until I adjusted my clock. So once you've applied things, you're going to want to save them onto a profile. So what I've done with my profiles here, I have profile, so you apply and then you click save, and it will ask you what number you want to save it on. So I have a couple of profiles on mine. One is the default. 2 is actually, it's sort of a scaled back from my maximum. It's something that, I was trying to play Just Cause 2 and it wasn't actually allowing me to load. It was giving me crash errors and everything like that. So I've actually scaled it back a little bit, and you can see just from doing that and clicking apply, my frames per second has gone up from 5 to 6, and then my last change is going to be is it number 3? What number do I go to here? No, here, number 4. Click on apply, you're going to see a bigger difference here whenever that changes. So Heaven is designed to sort of stress your graphics card, so I'm getting 7 frames per second here, but in games I'm usually getting, you know, anywhere between 25 to 30 frames per second at least. Arkham City runs at 30 frames per second. You know, I've got a few games that I'm running at that. So, but just a quick guide on how to get you started. Again, be careful when you're doing it. You don't want to damage your graphics card. And best of luck to you. Thanks for watching, and I'm Norman Burgundy.